Welcome back on the AM show, and we're talking about trade facilitation and more. And joining the conversation, Raymond Amaglu, Director of Operations, Ghana Link Network Services Limited. And interestingly, right before we got into this, I found out, Raymond, that he's an old student, a product of my alma mater, Bishop Herman. And it appears to be just a year between us, but don't mention. We don't want them to know. But thank you so much for joining the conversation. So before we go into, ICOMS, Ghana Link, what the successes you've chalked in recent times, what exactly have you been up to within, let's say, this year?
Thank you very much, Benjamin. This year has been quite a momentous year for us as a company. As you may be aware, from the 1st of June last year, we rolled out the new trade facilitation and customs management system, which is popularly known as the ICOMS. And it's been a challenging but interesting period for us. And over the course of this year, we have made very good strides, and we are quite proud of what we have achieved in this relatively short period of time. And we are grateful and thankful to God and to our various stakeholders for all the support up until this time.
How long has your outfit been in operation?
Ghana Link Network Services Limited is a wholly owned Ghanaian company. It was registered on the 5th of June 2001. And we are an IT solutions company. We mostly focus on trade facilitation solutions. So in 2003, we were one of 5 companies which were performing destination inspection services for the government. It may interest you to know, Benjamin, we were the only indigenous company out of the 5. And then in 2015...
The only indigenous company?
Wow. Yes. In 2015, our contract was over with the government, but we got another contract to provide external verification services for the Customs Division of GRA. This we did together with our technical partners from Japan, OMIC. Then in 2018, the government sought to get a single service provider to provide an end-to-end solution to our trade facilitation program. And Ghana Link was selected, and together with our technical partners from this time Korea, which is the Korea Customs Service. We are working with an agency of the Korea Customs, which is the Customs Unipass International Agency, KUPIA. They have developed this system, popularly known as the Unipass system. That's what they're using in Korea and in some other countries across the world, including Africa.
So it appears within this short period, your impact has really been felt, and you've been engaging, the powers that be, government, to ensure that the rollouts are indeed what they ought to be. But what would be your appreciation? How do you feel so far? Because as far as ICOMS is concerned, there have been the pros and cons and the people who have been for and against. What is your view of that integrated system?
Overall, the feedback we have gotten from the stakeholders is that this is indeed a very good system. The conviction is that it is the best that has been deployed since we became a republic. The main goal or the objective of bringing on board ICOMS was, one, to get a single service provider to perform an end-to-end function with regards to our trade facilitation function at the ports. And then secondly, there has been this challenge with revenue mobilization at the port. So the government needed a system that was robust enough to help shore up our revenue mobilization at the port. And thirdly, most importantly, for trade facilitation, which would effectively bring about a reduction in the cost and time of doing business for our business public. And to a very large extent, Unipass or ICOMS has performed this creditably within this 1-year period.
Okay, so as far as ICOMS is concerned, and of course raising revenue and all of that, training for stakeholders is paramount because they must know exactly what this is about. But there's also been the question about some people not receiving the requisite training. What is being done about that?
Yes, we had a bit of a challenge at the initial stages of the rollout. Not all stakeholders appreciated what it was that the government was bringing on board. And Benjamin, change is not an easy thing for any of us. So people were, to some extent, also not ready for the change. It affected our ability to provide adequate training. So at the commencement of the system, we had quite a challenge at the ports, as you may recall. Fortunately, with the support of the government and the various stakeholders, we managed to get all stakeholders on board. We provided continuous training, which we even continue to do. As I speak to you today, there are training programs for various stakeholders, various parts of the country. So we continuously are providing in-person training, virtual trainings, and we have also provided manuals and then videos of our processes on our website, external.unipassghana.com.
Right.
So I can confidently say that to a very large extent, our stakeholders are very much knowledgeable in how to use the system. Benjamin,
Would you say there's a bit more work to be done?
Of course, it's a continuous process. We are constantly engaging our stakeholders, but the good thing is that the system has enabled the creation of a port community,
right,
where all the players across the supply chain are connected to the system. Even those with their individual systems, the systems are talking. So whatever roles are being played by one party are available for view by another party. So effectively, we have what you would call a paperless port system today, because you are able to make your applications to customs with one application. You're able to make application to all the MDAs who are supposed to provide you with certificates, licenses, permits for your imports or exports. You do a one-time application with a one login, and they all receive your application. They provide responses right on the system. Customs does the assessment. They send you a feedback of the bill you're supposed to pay as duties and taxes.
Right.
If you are comfortable, you accept on the system, and then you pay. If you are not, you reject, and then an appeal process starts immediately. But if you accept to make payment, the good thing is that all 23 commercial banks have also been connected to the system through the Ghana.gov platform. So the various payment options available with your bank, you are able to utilize, even including Momo. Right. And then you make payment. The good thing also with ICOMS is that you are with the pre-manifest declaration clearance option, even before the arrival of the ship. Okay, once you have your invoice, your packing list, your bill of lading, you're able to make application to customs. Once you make payment, you wait 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, whatever period of time the ship arrives, then you have to go to the port to take delivery of your cargo. So clearance at the port, you don't need any paper at the moment. And then within the matter of a day, sometimes hours, you're able to take delivery of your cargo from the port.
So I know there's this new cargo delivery feature that has been brought in, and that is some of what you're talking about. So the importer, the agent, all of them, the process has been simplified.
Very much so. With one login, you're able to perform all your functions, and then you come out, and it's all done on the system. Like I said, the only time you have to physically go to the port is when you have to take physical delivery of your cargo from the port. Otherwise, all the processes are online and
it's paperless.
Very efficient.
Some of these successes have been chalked and touted as far as the paperless system and ICOMS and all of that are concerned. But what would you say have been the real gains in terms of revenue generation? What has been the impact?
It's been quite a significant impact on our revenue generation. Since the deployment of ICOMS June of last year, that is across the country, compared to previous years' collections, we are doing about 30% higher than what was collected previously. There was an interview granted by the Commissioner General where sometime over the weekend, he had mentioned that averagely collections were about 800 to 900 million cedis a month. But since the inception of ICOMS, the government is collecting between 1.3 to 1.4 billion cedis a month. So there's been a significant increase in the revenue collected since the inception of ICOMS. The other advantage is that it has also helped to reduce the cost and the time of doing business. Like I mentioned, within a matter of hours or a day, you're able to clear your goods. So charges like rent charges, the mortgage charges, all those other charges that you would have to pay for delays that you would have encountered, these have all become savings to the trading public. Yeah. So
the single window, the paperless systems, they are all part of the ICOMS that you run.
Very much so. Like very much so. All the various players who have to play various roles are all connected in the system. You make a one-time application, and if it is the Food and Drugs Authority, if it is the Environmental Protection Agency, if it is the Ghana Standards Authority, any authority that needs to, give you a certain approval, with one application, they all receive your application, and then they give you the approvals right online.
Okay.
And then you are able to proceed. Customs does the assessment for you. You make your payment. The next thing you do is to wait for the arrival of the ship. You go to the port, you take physical delivery of your cargo. So it's a paperless system, it's a single system, and it's working very efficiently.
So 2 quick questions for you before we wrap. And the penultimate one is this. I know that in terms of AfTA, it's supposed to open up the continent to us and us to the rest of the continent. And I also know that there is a bit about exporting. So far, since the system has been introduced, I know of Kasapreko and Gandor Cosmetics that have benefited from the program. Are there other, companies joining the fray? And how is the process being facilitated for other companies to come on board?
The good thing, Benjamin, is that on the 1st of April, when AfTAC went live across Africa, Ghana was one of the first countries in Africa to be ready for AfTAC. And it is because the system had been provisioned to perform the role. The competent authority is the Customs Division of the GRA, together with the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Ministry of Trade, these three institutions. So you are able to make your various applications on the system, and you are good to go, both for your export and your import. I'm also aware that the Ministry of Trade is engaging various manufacturing companies who are into export to help them with a hand-holding exercise to onboard them so that they're able to take full advantage of the AfTAC processes.
Mm. And my final bit to you, of course, you have come this far, but moving forward, what are the projections that you're looking forward to? Ghana Link with the ICOMS and, aiding Ghana to arrive at the sort of place we want to be. What next?
Of course, like I mentioned, we are very proud of what we have achieved, but there is still more to do. We have been working very vigorously on some few new models we want to introduce to even enhance and make the service delivery even better and help improve the revenue as well. If I could mention a few of them.
You could. Just make them brief.
Okay, we have one which is the e-auction. Currently, the auction processes are manual mainly. So we are developing this system which will enable an electronic auctioning of unutilized cargo list goods. Let me not go too deep into it, but it can be done electronically. There's the e-wallet. Sometimes when you have overpaid your taxes, we are coming up with a system where you are able to select an option where your overpaid amounts could be used to defray current costs and a few more. Hopefully, between the end of this month and the end of the year, we would have deployed some few new models which would even enhance our processes.
Well, it's been refreshing, and I'm sure the education on this should be ongoing so that we get to know a lot more about the system and how we are going paperless and how Ghana Link is facilitating the entire process. But thank you so much for coming through. Raymond Amagblo is actually Director of Operations, Ghana Link Network Services Limited. And we found out we go way back.
Way back.
We even knew.
Way back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you. Very grateful.
And, well, this is how we draw the curtains on today's show. It's been invigorating. Join us tomorrow as we bring you a lot more action worth waking up for. My name is Benjamin Akakpo. This is the AM Show. Do enjoy the rest of your day.